Hey guys, Squirrel Squad here. Welcome to PTCGO. Today we are going to be reviewing this deck and playing a tournament match. So we'll just start off with Shaymin. This card is just for consistency. We want to get out Vileplume really fast, turn 1, so we can just lock our opponents up so they can't do anything, while hitting for lots of damage with Lurantis. We have Fomantis. This is actually a really good card for Synthesis. You can use Synthesis to get early energies off, and you can also use Lurantis' attack Flower Supply to also get energies. But the main thing we're looking at for Lurantis is Solar Blade, to do 120 every single turn. Chloroscythe is also something to keep track of. You do want to be using this sometimes to knock out things like Yveltal EX. You can use Professor Kukui here to do extra 20 damage, so you only need the 3 energies on it to do 170. Oddish, Gloom, they're just there so you can evolve into Vileplume. There's not much thing special about them. And Vileplume, you get to lock both players from playing any item cards. Item cards are really crucial in this format because it's pretty much the entire basis of every deck. It lets you speed through your deck and get all the cards you need. Acro Bike is so we can get things like supporters, more items, and even more Acro Bikes into our hand while putting things like grass energy in the discard pile so we can use Flower Supply. Level Ball is for getting Fomantis, Oddish, and Gloom, but getting Vileplume is a higher priority than getting Fomantis'. So you just have to keep track of that also. Revitalizer is so you can just discard Vileplume line and the Fomantis line, so you can just take it back with this one card. It's a really nice thing to have. Trainers Mail, we have this card just so we can grab whatever items or supporters or even a forest of giant plants that we need at pretty much any time before being locked. We use Ultra Ball to grab Shaymins mostly, but we can also grab any of the other Pokemon in our deck. We want to be discarding grass energy so we can get it back with Lurantis' Flower Supply. I have different arts. We're using Forest of Giants plants so we can evolve Oddish into Vileplume on the first turn and lock our opponents completely out. We can also use this to evolve Fomantis into Lurantis turn 1, so we don't have to use Synthesis and can go straight to Flower Supply. We have Lysandre just in case they retreat, and so then we can just Lysandre something up and kill whatever's on the bench. We're playing N for the draw support. This way we can just not be inconsistent. And also if our opponent's in the lead, we can just ruin their lead by putting their cards down and then taking a knockout. Sorry for that, guys. We do play Kukui so we can take the one-hit knockout on 170 HP EXs and GXs. Well, actually, there's not any GXs that have that much health. We can also do it to draw cards. If you want, you can take a Kukui out and add in another N if you're using this deck list, but I prefer the 2. We are playing the 4 Sycamores for consistency and so we can discard the cards we don't want in our deck. It's really helpful, and we can combine it with Revitalizer and Flower Supply to be extra consistent. Float Stone is in case our opponent plays a Lysandre on our Vileplume, so we can put one on, an Oddish or a Gloom, so then we can retreat easily. And then the only thing that we're really worried about with this deck is a Fright Knight. But most decks only play 1 at max. We are playing 10 grass energy, just because I don't really like 8, because you discard them too quickly. I'd say that this is a pretty good number, so you can discard about like 4 to 6, and then get on with Flower Supplying, so you can get yourself back up. So let's get on to the matches. And we're back. So we are against Almac 11, and I'm pretty sure our opponent is going first. Unfortunate. Actually, never mind. We are going first, which means that we can attempt to get our turn 1 Vileplume lock. And our hand is looking pretty good. We can Ultra Ball away 2 grass energies, Acro Bike for something, and Sycamore at the end of our turn. Well, at the end of this hand. So then we can draw 7, refresh our hand, and then keep going. From there, I think we'll be able to get the turn 1. We do draw for Forest of Giant Plants. So I will Acro Bike first. We'll discard the grass energy. I think I'll dump a grass, 2 grass. I'll grab a Shaymin, bench the Shaymin. We'll set up for 3 cards, and let's see what we get. Unfortunately, we don't get anything that can help us, so we'll just have to Sycamore away this entire hand. Things aren't looking as good anymore. I'm not sure if we'll be able to get the turn 1. Yep, we don't get it. We may lose this game just because of our opponent playing Houndoom, but even if we do lose, I'll continue on the matches. We are in a tournament in case I decided to edit that out, but I think we're doing fine. Our opponent plays Level Ball. Our opponent is playing Remoraid, a bit odd for a mill deck. That should help them in the long run against our deck. I will attach the energy to Fomantis and I'll Kukui for 2 cards, but it doesn't really pay off, and our Gloom is still stuck in the active. Our opponent draws for his turn, attaches a fire energy, and he's probably just going to Melting Horn, discard 2 cards off of my deck. Nope, he has a Versus Seeker. He'll go for the Team Rocket's Handiwork. He flips 1 heads, so he is going to mill 4 cards this turn. Unfortunately, discarding a Kukui. You get an Acro Bike off that. Grab an N. And we can play that and get a whole new hand. We do get the Vileplume and the Lurantis. I'm not sure if we have a Float Stone. We do have a Vileplume in our discard pile, so I can safely dump both of these. What am I saying? The Ultra Ball already discards 1, so we're fine. We can bench this Fomantis, evolve 1, Revitalizer, and then we can get a Vileplume and a Lurantis-GX. It is unfortunate that we missed the Float Stone. I don't think... I'll do it. I'm not sure if this is the best play, but we'll go with it. Actually, in hindsight, that was a misplay. Our opponent can just mill us. They don't have us having any immediate threat. And if we play the Sycamore, then we're just playing into his hands. Our opponent may be doing a small misplay here, using Grand Flame. But apparently that's what our opponent is doing. This play is fine. I can't afford to play that Sycamore because I may lose the game. So I'll have to hope that our opponent attacks us once more. He does use Melting Horn again. Things are not looking bright. I will just pass the turn again. There's not much I can do. I think I should maybe concede at this point. Yeah, I'll just concede. So I will see you guys back in another match in a new tournament. And we're back, guys. So we are going against another fire normal type deck. This could be something like Mega Houndoom, but this could also be another Houndoom Bunnelby deck, which would be a little unfortunate. It's not too good of a matchup for us. And we do lose the coin flip again. Sorry for that charger connecting. The battery's a bit low. We do start with a Fomantis. We can bench the Oddish, attach an energy to Fomantis, play Shaymin. Our opponent starts with 2 Pokemon. We will start with Oddish on our bench, not the Shaymin. This ability only works when it's from your hand into your bench, which this is, but you can't really do it like that. So since the tournament theme, the tournament rules aren't really based on skill, our opponent is playing some deck resemblant of a theme deck, so this should be pretty easy to destroy pretty easily. I wish they could do something about that, but I think it would slow down the system quite a bit. We don't start with anything good, so we're gonna have to Sycamore all of this away. Hopefully this doesn't hurt us in the long run, but I think we're pretty much good against this deck. Sorry if you hear any background noise. My family is in the house with me at the moment. I will grab this Acro Bike and I'll play that. We do get a Float Stone for the Oddish. I think I'm just going to play another Shaymin off of this Ultra Ball, which we'll discard 2 grass energy with, so we can use it with Lurantis' attack later. Flower Supply. We will play this Shaymin down, set up for 5 cards, and get a brand new hand. We will play this Acro Bike, hopefully get a Vileplume. Nope, but we do get a Revitalizer, which is just as good. I will play Ultra Ball, discard Level Ball and Grass Energy. And we can get a Lurantis. Play it on our active. Use Revitalizer. And that was a misplay. We don't actually have a Vileplume in our discard pile. We were supposed to use the Ultra Ball to get the Vileplume. I'm sorry for that, but I'm pretty sure we'll just win this game anyways because of our opponent's deck. I'll just use Flower Supply. Put the energy on the active Lurantis. And that's the end of our turn. Our opponent is not the best player in the world, but at least he's just a rookie. He's just trying to play a deck and have fun. He's going to use Overrun, doing 40 damage to our, 80 because of our weakness. With Lurantis, you have a weakness to fire, and 20 to one of our benched Pokemon, if I'm not mistaken. He is going to play Lysandre on my Shaymin. He probably should have done it to the Gloom so I couldn't lock his items. He is going to use Overrun on both of my Shaymins. I'll use this Acro Bike that I top deck and get 2 grass, which means that I can put it on the Shaymin and retreat easily. And I can take a knockout. I'll I'll use Solar Blade for 120 damage and take a prize. You get a grass energy. It's not too helpful, but it's fine. We can put it on our bench Lurantis, but our opponent does place an energy on this bench Ninetales. This could be a little bit of a threat if I flip tails and he takes an OKO on my Lurantis, but we actually do top deck the Vileplume, and this is looking a lot better now. We can play this energy down, play the Lysandre, and knock out this poor little Ninetales. Do pick up this prize card. Just an N. We can play that and get another hand, but I'm not sure if that will be beneficial to our opponent, so I think I'll just hold it next turn, dependent on what he plays. But our opponent does concede, and we win this game. Moving on to the next round. We are back, guys. So our opponent is playing a Water Psychic normal deck. This could just be some Mewtwo deck with some Water Splash cards. Or, judging by the little coin, he could be playing Gyarados, maybe with a Tech Mewtwo from Evolutions. We do start with a mulligan, and I still can't find out what my opponent is playing. Could be Greninja, possibly Golduck. Do start Fomantis with an Oddish on the bench. Our opponent mulligans again, and they are playing Greninja. We will have to see what the Psychic Tech is. Maybe a Mew-EX? Can't really tell at this point. Our opponent is mulliganing pretty badly. 4 times in a row, I think. Yep, there's the 4. Maybe our opponent's playing Skinny Greninja, where they only play 2 Froakies. But then they would be playing Talonflames unless his variant plays Shaymin, in which there would still be basics. Our opponent finally gets their Pokemon, and I will be drawing every single one of these mulligans, just so we have a higher chance of hitting the turn 1. And our opponent is playing Espeon-EX, a bit of an interesting tech. This is actually very helpful in this matchup, so we can devolve my Vileplume and play an... never mind. He can't attack and play supporter. I'm not sure the use of the Espeon. And our opponent is playing the worst of the 2 Froakies. Perhaps our opponent doesn't have the greatest card collection, but I'm sure it will still be somewhat of an even match. Our opponent plays a Professor's Letter, probably just going to get 2 water. Yep. Drops one down on the Espeon and passes the turn. So I will be playing the Forest of Giant Plants down, playing the Trainers Mail, and failing it. So we will be playing the Grass on the Fomantis then. Playing this Level Ball, benching evolving the Oddish into the Gloom on the bench, playing the Lurantis, playing Kukui, and we get a nice Float Stone. We can also get an Acro Bike, hopefully discard a Grass. Nope, we're just discarding a Vileplume then. We'll bench that, and we'll use Flower Supply. Sadly, we didn't get any Grass energy in the bench, but we still played Kukui for extra damage. Our opponent having some trouble setting up. Does play the Rough Seas. Can't use that with the Espeon, though. Our opponent may be using I'm not sure. His deck is a little strange. I think our opponent's just going to pass the turn. This doesn't really bother me too much since I can just re-evolve it. It doesn't change matters, except I can actually play my items down again. So his Espeon is slightly beneficial to me. I do get a Float Stone. I can put that on the Lurantis. I think I'm just going to play it safe, put the Vileplume back, and play N. Yeah. We do get another Grass Energy. I don't think I'm going to use my GX attack simply because it won't OKO at this point. Flower Supply for 40. Opponent only has 70 HP left. They will retreat into that Froakie on the bench and pass. Nope, they have a Frogadier, probably going to attach a Water Energy and use Water Duplicates. And this is when Greninja really begins to shine. Yeah, they got all three of those. Nothing's prized, nothing's discarded. So it is my turn again. I think I'll just straight up play the Sycamore. I don't want the Lysandre targets. I do draw into a forest to counter his annoying Rough Seas and a Fomantis. I don't think I'm going to bench the other one, just in case. And I will Flower Supply, one-hit KO him, just because he has weakness, and get our first prize card. We do draw an energy, which means that we are attacking for 240 against these Frogadiers. And we are OKOing the Espeon EX too. But we do get End out of this hand, down to 5. This shouldn't affect matters too much. Unless he gets a Greninja and somehow benches another Greninja. He does replace my Stadium. We do get another Grass Energy here. So we can still attach that onto the Lurantis-GX in our active and use Solar Blade. Our opponent passes the turn, clearly devastated by this Vileplume. We can use Solar Blade for 240 against this poor little Frogadier. And we do get a Lysandre, which means that we can Lysandre up the Espeon and take an OKO. This isn't looking good for my opponent. They just have to play something like a Judge or an N to get me out of this hand. If they could get a Greninja, 2 Greninjas, they could be in an okay position. Or if they somehow Lysandre my Vileplume and knock it out. I don't think there's a way my opponent can win this. It is our turn again, so I don't think I'll go for the Lysandre play just yet to play it safe, and I'll just knock it out for 240 again. You draw another Grass Energy, so we can safely evolve our Fomantis on the bench by attaching. And things are looking really good on our side, much in our favor. They are attaching another energy to the Frogadier. I do want to knock that out as the first priority, but my opponent just concedes and we win game 2. We do move on to the round 3, and I think we can take this tournament, which will give us the packs for another pack opening. But things are moving quickly, so I think I will not make a cut here. We only have to wait 3 seconds. And we're going against Gizmo 859 with a Water, Fire, Psychic, Colorless deck. I think this is Volcanion. Perhaps with a Tech Mewtwo. Or a Hoopa. I do start Oddish. Volcanion does give us a hard time, but we can discard the 2 Grass Energy. And it does look like our opponent's playing some sort of Volcanion deck. Opponent takes a mulligan. They do start with more than 1 basic Pokemon. I'm not sure if they're going to play it or if they notice it yet. We are time limited to about 13 minutes, I'm pretty sure. So any time that they lose is to my benefit. But it is slightly annoying if our opponent is stalling. We do draw a card off of the mulligan. And it turns out my opponent is playing Volcanion. But we could still win this. Our opponent is also unfortunately going first, but they might have a dead hand. Seeing how my opponent isn't playing anything. He does have to do a most likely painful Sycamore, discarding a Versus Seeker, an Energy Retrieval, Max Elixir. All of these things are slightly beneficial, but not entirely. I do top deck a Gloom, which is very helpful. This means that I can discard these 2 Grass Energy, grab a Shaymin, and then move on from there. We do draw 3 cards off of this Shaymin using the setup ability that's so helpful and dominating. I think the better play is to actually play the N here. Or the Sycamore. We don't want to evolve the Vileplume, just so we don't have to lug 3 energy off of that active. So we do get an Acro Bike, we'll play that. And we can discard that Grass Energy, that's probably the better play. So we can Ultra Ball, discard those 2, grab a Shaymin. First, we should use this Level Ball so we can draw that extra card off of setup, grab a Fomantis, bench it, and then drop our Shaymin down for 5 cards. Do get a Revitalizer that should seal the deal. Hopefully we can get a Float Stone off of here, Acro Bike. Nope, sadly just a Lysandre. We will get both of these cards. So we can bench it, that Oddish. Put that there and then evolve the benched one instead. And then pass the turn. On to our opponent's turn. I'm not sure if my opponent has anything to play. Just a Fire Energy and a pass, perhaps. He might be playing a no Trainers Mail build. He is playing Future Bianca or Lily. And I don't think if he has anything... I think if he doesn't have anything to respond, we can just take over this game and easily take a win. I will be playing the Sycamore here, just so I can get rid of those cards and draw a little bit more. I don't want to end my opponent, so he draws more cards. We do get the Grass Energy to retreat, and we can get another Lurantis down. I will drop the Vileplume, just so my opponent really has no safe way to get items. And then I'll use Flower Supply, get those 2 energies, and then next turn we can take an OKO with Chlorocyte GX. my opponent does say hello, I'll respond with another hello. I think we do take over this game. We don't even have to use Lurantis-GX. We can just use Solar Blade with Kukui, and we're doing 180, which does take an 2-hit KO on this Volcanion. Things are looking grim for my opponent. He's saying well played. Maybe he's conceding the game. I think we have this in our hands. He does concede the game. We do win 6 packs. A pack opening video should come pretty much sooner than later. Let me know if you guys like pack opening videos, and if you don't, then I'll just stop them and do more things like the Nuzlocke, stream highlights, and more videos like this one. We do win a breakthrough pack, Primal Clash, Evolutions, 3 Sun and Moon, and that beautiful gold trophy. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.